You guys have probably seen me before talk about this book, The Biblio Diet. Actually, I don't talk about it, I critique it. And what I'm doing here is trying to help men over 50 to win the battle of the bulge. And the way you win that, guys, is by not doing the wrong things. And the reason I went over this book is because some of you have heard when I say that I do house calls, and when I was at a client's home, they had this book and they read it, but it didn't give them the results that they were looking for to get rid of the belly fat so that they could reverse their health problems. So when they gave me this book, I started reading it thinking I was going to find the answers to what I teach my clients, especially because the title says Biblio in it, meaning they are basing it on the Bible. And the reason, it's not that I'm a Bible thumper, but the reason this book was interesting to me is because I thought, oh, okay, so they're going back to the Bible, which means they're going back to the human body. And this is the important thing I want you guys to hear loud and clear. The reason I thought this book was going to be the answer to what I could give clients who couldn't afford my services was to give them the handbook. But when I started reading this book, I found out that the authors, even though they're best-selling New York Times authors, Dr. Josh Axe, a lot of you might know him because he has a program to help you lose weight. But when these best-selling authors wrote this book, they had these, what I call, little mistakes that make a huge difference. And when I say huge difference, I mean leverage. When somebody says, well, Janina, I've tried this diet, I've tried that diet, and my response to them is all diets will work until the day they don't. And what this means is you can go on a diet and you can lose weight, but weight isn't the key performance indicator. Weight is not what you guys should be looking at. That's the number one mistake most people make, is they go off on the wrong path. And I'm not going to go over that in this book because there's even more mistakes in this book than that. I'm going to go over the calorie mistake in this book today. But here's the situation. When this book veered off of the human body and what Mother Nature has already given us in our human body, which is an amazing, amazing piece of equipment, it made me realize that this book had some ulterior motives, in my opinion, unless they're just ignorant. Because here's what happens when you veer off of the path of the human body. It always ends up leading to what? A supplement, a pill, a potion, a gadget, something someone's going to sell you so that you can make profits for them. Now, unfortunately, I don't have either of these authors here to have a conversation with, and I would love to have a conversation with these guys and ask them why they said certain things in their book. So let's start off with the very first video I ever made. I did a Facebook Live a few months ago on this book, but as you guys know, those get deleted after 30 days. So today's video, if you don't want it to get deleted, join my Facebook private group, but it's for men over 50 only. Sorry, ladies. When it comes to that, it's called the Gearbox. Write Gearbox below in the comment and I'll give you an invite to there, because I can say things inside that Gearbox, that private group, that I'm not allowed to say here. So I'm going to tread lightly here so I don't get taken off of Facebook again. So we're going to go over what went wrong in this book, The Biblio Diet, and I'm going to go to telling you the page number. It is page 85. Page 85, and I highlighted it here. It's the chapter or the section that says the skinny on fats. Maybe you guys can see that up there, the skinny on fats. And I highlighted here what this sentence is, and I'll read it out loud to you. The sentence is, with 9 calories per gram of fat, more than double the calories provided by carbs or protein, fats are the most energy efficient form of food. Okay? That sentence right there, I'm going to tell you what the quarter-inch turn is. When you focus on calories, guys, you're going down the wrong path. But first, let me congratulate the authors on saying something that is true, and that fats are a very potent nutrient for us. Yes, fats are nutrients, guys. So they did get that part right, that fats are more beneficial for us when you're counting calories. But the problem is we don't need to count calories at all. And here's why. Your body is not a calorimeter. A calorimeter is a device that's put up in a research lab, and they put food in this device and they calculate how many calories come out the other end. But here's the problem with this way of thinking. You're not that calorimeter that they set up in the lab, which is why calories go out the window when it comes to you trying to burn off belly fat. And the reason being is that it simplifies the body into a calorimeter, and the body is much more elaborate than that. Your human body, no matter what it looks like today, no matter how many organs you're missing today, is still not a calorimeter. Your body, number one, is very complex. And that complexity is there for a reason. Because if you believe in God above and you want to go on the Biblio diet, do you really think God is that cruel to make us have to count calories? No. It is not that difficult, guys. Our bodies are complicated, so you guys don't have to overcomplicate what you need to do to make that body run. So here's where we end up, where I have to walk a fine line. This platform that you're watching me on right now has a lot of people on it, and it's free, as you know, but nothing's really for free, guys. Why is this platform free? Because there's a lot of marketing money behind the people that are going to market to you on these platforms. Big pharma, big food, big supplement companies. I can continue on, all the big gadget companies. Everybody who's marketing to you a product is making money off of you not knowing the real truth. Hence the reason why I want to say, yes, there's some good information in the Biblio diet book, but there's also a lot of misinformation. And like you've heard me say, I haven't finished the book, but so far I have 13 pages I will go over with you guys in the future. When you guys focus on the wrong metric, you're going to end up barking up the wrong tree. So let's go to breaking down why calories are a waste of your time and your energy. When you focus on calories, you're going to fall into the trap that a lot of people do, is when you go to the store, you're going to flip over something that you're going to eat, and the first line is typically calories written in big letters, because that's the banner. That's the product company trying to get you to focus on calories so that you'll ignore what's really important on that list. Okay? And it's not all the breaking down of the carbs or the, the fat, the fiber. No. What's really important on that is the ingredients. That's why I'm going to make this super, super simple. And for those of you who know, I'm a previous eye doctor. And sometimes I go places without my glasses. Yes, I know. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, the eye doctor without her reading glasses. Well, what happens when you don't have your reading glasses is you're not going to be able to read all those names of those ingredients that are probably pretty long chemical names that your grandmother or your great-grandmother would never, ever recognize. But you don't even need your glasses. If the ingredient list is a paragraph long, you don't even need to read it. I guarantee that. If the ingredient list is a paragraph long, put it back. That's it. That's the one simple quarter-inch turn I want you to take away from today's podcast. And I'm going to keep it short. And why? Because if I overwhelm you with too much information, you're not going to go and do what you need to do. So now let me talk about the people out there that are saying, but Janina, it's important that we calculate the calories because we're going to compare that against what we do for exercise. No. That's a whole nother problem that we're going to talk about in a future episode. All of this quote-unquote exercise stuff and calories, they go hand in hand. The people who want to sell you on the concept of calories want to sell you food on low calories that are actually going to cause you to gain more fat or hang on to more fat, or even worse, clog up your blood vessels, which, what does that lead to? Cardiovascular disease. Hence the reason why over the age of 50, you start to realize all the errors that you made when you were much younger. Okay? So let's go with calories first, over here to exercise. There is no way if you ate a donut, let's say the donut is 700 calories. There is no way that you're going to be able to go to the gym and burn off those 700 calories. I guarantee that. Now, some of you out there are going to say, oh, but wait, Janina, I'm on the treadmill and I plug in my weight, my height, or whatever, and it tells me how many calories I burn. You know what? If you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. And the reason I say that is because those devices are meant to keep you hooked on coming back for those devices. And why? Because those devices are part of the gym membership. They want to make you believe that you need to have that gym membership so that you can go walk on a treadmill. And the reality is, guys, we can walk in our normal everyday lives. How many of you park somewhere and you park as close as you can to the door? You just missed your opportunity to walk. There you go. How many of you guys end up sitting on your couch and have your phone right next to you so every time it rings you don't have to get up to go answer it? Missed opportunity. Here's what I'll tell you. I personally leave my phone away from me so that every time it rings, or if I hear a text come through and if I'm interested to answer it, I have to get up to go do it. That's making my life a little more inconvenient so that I keep my body in motion. And I don't know, those of you that might have seen the post that I did this week, it was a funny one. I apologize. I don't know how to share my screen right now going live. But it was a picture, and you guys can go back into my profile and look at this picture of a man, and it was during the different eras. And I think it went back to like 1970 and then the 90s and now today, how the man on the couch was getting fatter and fatter while his TV was getting thinner and thinner. It's a great post. I forget, I have to give credit to whoever had that. I have to give credit to my brother. My brother sent it to me, so thank you, Javier, for sending it to me. It was hilarious to see it. But it's true. The more convenient life gets for us, the fatter and fatter we become. So I want you guys to comment below if you are a man over 50 who wants to get into the Gearbox so that you start getting these podcasts every week that I put out at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on a Tuesday to give you guys tips to burn off the belly fat without having to do strenuous exercise or fad diets or taking pills or potions. You want to get back to what Mother Nature already wants for you, you got to get out of your own way. And you got to get out of your own way by not falling for misinformation. So the next week I will go over another page of misinformation. And by the way, I do want to say, if Dr. Josh Axe or Jordan Rubin are listening to this podcast, I do want to say that I don't want to pick on you guys, but the reason I'm using this book is because somebody gave it to me. But the reality is, what's in this book is mistakes I see all over in so many books, which again is meaning that these guys aren't the only ones making those mistakes. And I think you guys can agree. You guys can think about this. How many times has somebody talked to you about calories? Let me bring up a very important topic on calories. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey, as you know, invested in Weight Watchers. And they took the word calories out of their vernacular and changed it to points. There's another problem. Points was maybe a little bit better than calories, but it still wasn't the true answer, proven by the fact that Oprah never really lost the fat until what? Till she started doing this shot, the Ozempic or the Wegovy. And then what happened to Weight Watchers? They went bankrupt. There you go. So I can talk about those drugs inside of my Gearbox, but I can't talk about those drugs here. So another reason for you guys over 50, comment below the word Gearbox or direct message me and I will send you an invite to that. But until then, if you guys have questions, please direct message me or put them below so I will answer those next week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.